Welcome back to the Don't Mom Alone podcast. I'm your host, Heather McFadden, and this is the place where I get to walk alongside you and connect you with people and resources so you know that you don't mom alone. And in this episode, number 393, I'm welcoming back to the show, Alisa Keeton.
And so God gives us or makes bodies. He makes us male, female, sons and daughters. And he loves our bodies. He thinks they're good designs. Think about that, everyone. Your body is good.
Alisa is the creator of one of my favorite ministries, Revelation Wellness. And I'm real picky when it comes to talking about our bodies, fitness, health in general. I get approached by lots of different people to come on the show and talk about it. And Alisa is the only one, and my friend Jess Connolly, who has been mentored by Alisa. And that's because I know this is a tender topic. It is for me. This was one of the times where, yes, I know this show is for you, but honestly, God used Alisa to minister to me, and I really needed the help when it came to this specific topic. You'll hear I get teary, but even after we recorded, Alisa offered to pray for me, and she and I are big believers in inner healing prayer and God's ability to set people free, and that happened for me. It's like an onion, there's always layers and layers and layers. And this was another layer that I needed to be set free from before I walked forward into some really great plans he had prepared for me. And Alisa was that conduit of his grace in my life. And so I know that we're not going to cover all the things when it comes to body shame. And I know that this is such a tender topic, but my hope is not only will you be encouraged today by Alisa's words, but you would get connected with her ministry so that God could continue to set you free in this area, and that you can recognize that freedom comes from knowing the truth, and that we can live in that tension between obsessing and neglect, that we can lean on God to empower us to know how to care for these good bodies he's given us. So let's get right to it. Here we go. Alisa, welcome back to the Don't Mom Alone podcast.
Don't mom alone. There's no way you're alone after 6 years. You got a whole army of people now not momming alone.
Sister, I mean, in my mind, I think, oh yeah, I've interviewed that person. And then
Time goes by.
Yeah, I look with my team. I'm like, no, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that was actually before I published my first book even. Since then, I've published a book and I'm about to release another one. And so, yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
And like my whole world, I mean, so if anyone thinks about all that's happened in the last 6 years in their own lives, like a lot.
Completely.
A lot. And I've been really careful when it comes to this topic of body image, of fitness, of health. I really haven't had a lot of guests come on. I think the most recent was Jess, and only because she's been discipled by you and your work and, and the Lord in her life. And I know there are women listening. This is such a tender topic.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And you do this work on the daily.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to start? Like, you want to talk about what you've been learning about why this is such an important topic around mind, body, spirit, and the purpose of the body. Like this feels like a battleground where the enemy is like,
oh gosh,
okay, they take that with them. So let's attack the thing that they take with them wherever they go.
Yeah. Yes. And it's fallow ground. I feel like when it's come to the body, it's just been fallow ground for so long. We have, church history, the dualistic thinking, the body's bad, the spirit's good, secular versus sacred. It's just this separation that started happening. And if you're going to do it, then go after the physical body and elevate the spirituality. So I get it. And then diet culture it's been around, you guys. It didn't start. We all tend to think, oh, it happened in this, the 80s and all the things we've seen because of media. No, it's been around so long of trying to change our bodies. And even Paul talks about it, like Paul talking about, for physical training is of some value, because back in those times, people were doing like showing up to like a gymnasium that was like basically a bit auditorium kind of situation. And they would like throw rocks around. Like they cared about the beautification of their body in the Greek and Roman world. But he was like, you're going to do that. But God, it's godliness, right? So we've been battling this from the very beginning, but it's easier to focus just on my spirit and God, my relationship with God. That, yes, that's a good place to start. Our hearts are deceived, our hearts are wounded. And so God comes for the heart, comes for the heart. But our minds get polluted by the world, the information we've received, and then our bodies ultimately pay that price of the sin and generations of sin. So it's all connected. Here's what we got to remember, that God is spirit. We know that. John tells us that God is spirit. And in the beginning, when God created things, it's like this spirit of God, this love, God who is love, God who is beauty, God who is pure goodness. God is the thing that makes our heart flutter and beat. Why you see something beautiful or something joyful, like, your spirit lifts up, because that's who God is. But God decided to make himself seen. He created, he made a world, he made beauty. That's why the beauty draws us to it, but it's just to draw us to God. And so God gives us, or makes bodies. He makes us male, female, sons and daughters. And he loves our bodies. He thinks they're good designs. Think about that, everyone. Your body is good. Here's how you know why, that your body is good. God created it to reset itself over and over again. Think about it. If you cut yourself shaving, like your leg, or if you cut a wound open, the body heals. You don't just bleed out. He's created it good. So the body's always trying to come back to good, but we have bad choices. Our hearts, our souls are bent. And so we make bad choices. So the body is good. The design of it is good. It's always, always fighting to get you and save you and keep you well. The heartbeat, everything, you don't have to think about swallowing, blinking. You don't have to do that. You know, right now, if you stopped swallowing, Heather, you would die.
Yeah.
You would gag, choke, die.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. God's like, I'm going to make this so that they live. They live, going to live. So I love Ezekiel and those dry bones. Can these dry bones live? Yes. So sovereign Lord. Well, okay, prophesy to those bones. Take your breath, your spirit, speak into those bones and watch them come alive. So the body is good. God created it because he wanted to make something beautiful seen. And that's why everybody you see, shape, size, it's beautiful. It's good.
Yeah.
Now, perhaps the heart, our choices that we're making, the thoughts that we're thinking are not good, but those can be made good too. Yeah. So we want to not segregate that out. What we do at Revelation Wellness a lot, and what my whole journey has been, I've been finding out through all this, is sometimes to get to God a little bit, differently, is to approach from the bottom up, which means like, just let me get in my body. I wish I had my brain. Well, I have a model of a brain. I do have a brain, but I have a model of a brain. Your brain develops from the bottom up. When you're in your mother's womb, the brain stem, the brain stem makes it possible for you to blink and suck and swallow and do all the things as a baby you don't think about doing. That brain stem is fully developed, the bottom up. It's responsible for all things of the body. Then it moves up to the emotional brain, which is your limbic system, the amygdala, where you think and learn and have memory and process emotions. So our kids are pretty active there, emotional memory. And then as you develop, the brain gets stronger up in the reasoning part of the brain. So you have your body brain, which is at the bottom. You have your emotional brain, and then you have your thinking brain at the top, prefrontal medial cortex. I can solve math problems. I can think optimistically and reasonably. Now, everyone keep in mind, you're born with a full brain, but parts of them are not activated and fully alive until you're 25 years old.
That's why rental car companies don't rent.
There you go.
Until you're 25, because your prefrontal cortex is not
You're
fully
making
developed.
Stupid decisions, which is so funny. I'm like, oh God, but I just believe he smiles and he knows. It's a setup so that we would know him, that we would choose when we're ready. And there's that innocence of a child that doesn't know better. So I can go all kinds of places with that. But Revelation Wellness, and what we encourage everyone, is to just get back in your body. You can't reason yourself into health sometimes, because the math equations, all the things to do, but you don't do them. You can't reason yourself there. Sometimes you just have to get in your body, declare it's good, give God thanks for breath, for the ability to walk, to move, get in that gratitude place. Kids are, well, initially pretty selfish, but then they are pretty easy to be pleased, right? Children, young children, you can make them so happy so easily. We got to get back into that young place, the body, moving the body for fun, for joy. And that actually can help the brain rewire itself. So there is some neuroscience behind getting in your body and calling it good, but your body has to feel safe, right? So a lot of people, it just doesn't feel safe because we've lived so separate from it for so long. And your body is beautifully makes God see. That's the big point.
And to hear even that label that it's good, if someone listening has experienced trauma related to their body of any kind. And I think that then that mind body separation has started, and protection. And then if there's been any kind of labeling from parents or others, as far as like beauty is concerned, whether you were gifted with what a person may deem on the outside beautiful, and like too much attention was given to the outside, and you separate, or you weren't exactly what they were hoping for you would look like, and so you're separated. And so a lot of outside labels that do create that disconnect from the body and believing what God says about us. And if y'all have never experienced Revelation Wellness, you definitely need to check it out. Pause this, go check it out. But like, I know that when I have experienced workouts through your ministry, it is unbelievable how moving the body and getting the body going connects you to the devotion that is then preached over me in a way that's different from me just sitting in a pew on a Sunday morning. There is a supernatural phenomenon that happens when I have been a part of a Revelation Wellness workout. What if you want to call that? What do you even call it, a workout? I mean, I don't feel like it's a workout. I feel like it's a worship experience.
It's hard.
It's like a worship experience.
It's joyful movement. It's like, I was just reading today, Heather, in Acts 3, when Peter and John are walking by a man that was begging, or, and the Holy Spirit had just fallen on everyone. And he says, silver and gold I cannot give you to this lame beggar, but in the name of Jesus, get up and walk. And the guy gets up and walks. And it says that he left walking, leaping, and praising. Walking is our ability to do whatever it is. Like everyone, we need walking to do about our life, but leaping is joy. And I think that is what I feel Revelation Wellness, when we get you walking, moving, whatever, and then the Holy Spirit is part of it because the Word of God is there, then there is this joy that kind of comes. It supersedes a workout. It supersedes a workout. But can I also tell you, it's not just supernatural. It's also natural how God designed our body. So when you go for a walk or move your body, it's rhythmic in some way. Your bilateral movement of the brain, right, left. And somehow when you're moving and the blood flow comes up, it actually occupies any part of you that if you have trauma or body shame, negative thinking, when you move your body, you can't think two things at one time. So your brain actually, you're holding on to that. The movement occupies the part of your body that kind of obsess or neglects. And this is shown in neuroscience. So when you're exercising, it's called the hippocampus in your brain, starts to get active. And that's the part of your brain that releases new brain cells. So it's like you are doing neurogenesis, which is new genes or new cells for your brain. The body gets active, you occupy it as you're moving, but then you've got some new brain cells and some chemistry going on. Then you're hearing the Word of God at the same time. And that's just starting to take it up. That's why a lot of people have come and done Revelation Wellness in some way. And they're like, I've been a Christian my whole life. I know Jesus, did the Awanas. I'm a pastor's wife, But today, when I did this with you in my body and you had us do this, I met Jesus, like Jesus walked in, like there was an encounter. There was not just information, but emotion, and then encounter, and then leap, right? You just kind of, oh my gosh, he's here. So it is different than just sitting down on a Sunday and getting a good message, which we need. But my gosh, we have so much good teaching at our fingertips now. We've got to process this stuff.
Well, and experience it viscerally. Like any kind of shame work I've heard from like Dr. Kurt Thompson, that it's that experience of being in community and feeling that pushing away of shame that then reminds you when the shame starts to come up that what it was like to be known and loved for who you are. And so when we have spent that time with Jesus and we experience the true identity of who he says we are and viscerally, then we can access it more quickly in a moment that isn't in a Revelation Wellness workout or
yeah. And it's going to be strong for people. I know people that engage with Revelation Wellness this way. It's going to be strong for people who have had trauma come against their body, physical abuse, sexual abuse, have been promiscuous with their body in some way, have just believed the lies for so long about their body. And then they get into food addictions or disordered eating. And so all the like that just opens up for some people more than others. So it's really for those that are like trying to get back to the good of their good body.
I've met so many moms who want to live with intention this year. And one of the areas that you may be looking at is your wardrobe and wanting to be responsible with your purchases. And so that's why I love connecting you with Rothy's, because not only am I presenting a really adorable shoe option that is comfortable, but I know that they have this sustainable signature thread that is made from recycled materials that helps make them soft and flexible and look great. And my favorite thing, that you can wash them and they look so good, even though I've worn them, like I've told you before, the sneakers all around New York City, their little flats, the little points, I have worn a lot and I will be pulling out this spring. And I've had my Rothy's for years and they look so good still. It's amazing. You can find all kinds of styles, whether it's flats, loafers, sneakers, lots of colors and prints. I'm all about knowing your colors and styles you wear season after season. So you can just throw them in the wash and they'll be ready to go. If you want to check them out and find some stylish and comfortable shoes, shop Rothy's and get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/DMA for Don't Mom Alone. That's ROTHYS.com/DMA. You mentioned it really quickly, but talk to us about this tension between the neglect and the obsess. Like, I think that some can swing back and forth between the two. Some can stay in one camp, but talk to us about that.
Well, first of all, I love the word tension. I think we confuse pain with tension or discomfort with tension. Like, everything in life is growing because of tension. When God created the world, it hangs in tension. Gravity, light, morning, night, up, down, water, land, like if everything kind of has this tension. So obsessing and neglecting, they actually are kind of these guardrails of life, that they're there because we want to stay out of them, right? But they're holding some tension so that we can figure out, wow, am I moving towards obsessing or neglect? Or, am I thinking constantly, counting my calories and it's taking up so much mental real estate? Or am I over here just like, forget it. I've tried it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. God looks just at my heart. My body doesn't matter. But meanwhile, we feel low energy, brain fog, crabby. We're mean with people. We're not our best self. So I think the first thing we all need to know is, which camp do you fall into predominantly? Yeah. Right. Maybe look down your history of your family generations of, was it you cursed your body and so you obsessed, or cursed your body and so you neglected? You have to know which way you tend to drift. Like, if my car is out of alignment, I got to know, oh, my right tire is low and I could fix that. So I'm not opposed to tension. I think it's actually wonderful, but it says in Galatians 5:17 that the flesh is opposed to the spirit and the spirit is opposed to the flesh, right? The spirit and the flesh, tension. My flesh is pulling me this way and the spirit is pulling me that way, or they're pushing against each other. They're working in opposition. And Paul says it's so that you won't do what you want to do. Like, great. I just want to do what I want to do. But to think about that ultimate win is that the spirit wins. You want the spirit to ultimately get the say. So you don't do what you want to do. And you'll know when you're living according to your flesh, you will fall deep into those pits of You'll start drifting towards one or the other. So I think don't neglect tension. You got to be aware of it. And then it is the welcoming in of the Spirit. God, come. Holy Spirit, come. Jesus says, I'll send you this helper, this Spirit. He will lead you into all truth at all times and teach you and what I've said and bring it to your mind over and over again. So I think obsess and neglect is just part of life. You're going to ping pong back around, but it's just the cue to let the Spirit get you back in path.
When I hear you saying it's not a place to then feel more shame and guilt.
Right.
Of like, oh my goodness, here I am again. I'm obsessing. It's like, nope, just you hit the bumper and ask for the Holy Spirit to pull you back. And
right.
And I always picture like with that tension, I always picture these circles that are concentric circles. And it's like if the body's on the out and the spirit's in the very middle, and then the soul is getting pulled between the two.
Yes.
And it's like the soul representing your mind, your emotions, and
will
your will
and emotions. Yeah.
So then it's like, well, if my will, what I want to do is getting pulled to my flesh or my spirit, the Spirit and God's will over me. My thoughts are more aligned with truth, or are they aligned with lies because of what I'm consuming? Like maybe it's a consideration of, am I consuming other people's messages in a way that's causing me to obsess? Is there an input here that is not God's word, that is pulling me towards the flesh and not the Spirit?
That's right.
And then your emotions, like, okay, there's emotions here. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling fear. What's behind that? If I'm obsessing and I'm obsessing because I need to be a certain size, I have to recognize this is Heather talking. That is a fear of rejection. That is a fear of wanting other people's approval.
Go.
I have a big thing coming up in 2 weeks here, Alisa, and I'm wanting to look approved based on a number.
This is where
scale.
I get, you look amazing.
Well, you're so sweet.
But I get it.
Sweet, but in my brain, I am the biggest I've ever been in my whole life on this earth, beyond pregnant. And so my brain is saying, you are not acceptable.
In Jesus' name. Jesus' name. By his wounds, we are healed. Everyone, let me take a minute. In this world, you will have trouble. We have all lived through trouble when it comes to our body. And trouble can look like, trouble isn't just, oh, that was a rough day. It's various forms of adversity and trauma. And trauma does not have to be, I lived through war, I was held at gunpoint, and I was sexually abused. Those are big traumas where our body literally seizes. We become overwhelmed by a nervous system. That's one form. There are little traumas over and over. It's like microaggressions, death by 1,000 paper cuts against our body, the body. So when you watch an advertisement, or you did a diet and it worked and then it didn't work, and then you feel the shame of it, and then round and round we go. By his wounds we were healed. Did you know the Greek word for wounds means trauma? By Jesus's trauma, by Jesus's trouble, by Jesus's lacerations, by everything, we've been healed. I could cry when I start to think about how much I think about myself. Like I get stuck on myself. I'm like upset. I'm like, God, where are you? And I'm stuck in my little trouble zone, my little trauma zone. And I'm like, wait a minute. Jesus died and resurrected. God, come and give me the joy of Mary finding you at a tomb alive. You are alive. You are alive. Resurrect me. Get me back to where you are, because I got lost and was licking my wounds over here. By your wounds, I'm healed. By his wounds, my body is good. We have to rewrite the story, and we do it with the partnership of the Holy Spirit.
Man, I like crying, just so you know.
I know.
I'm not afraid.
I feel it. Yeah.
Well, and vulnerable, the word is wound. So to wound, or open yourself up to wounding. So there you go. Okay. So in all of that, how do we honor our bodies? For what we talk about the tension and going between neglect and obsess, but like getting aligned with the Spirit, getting our soul aligned with the truth and our emotions, and doing that work. What does it look like to honor? And what does it look like to have that freedom? The freedom that came with the cross. Like it was for freedom. We've been set free and we're not grabbing it, right?
Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna work backwards. Freedom is not a look. It's a feeling.
There it is.
Freedom's not a look, everyone. if freedom, what's like the universal sign of freedom? Somebody like opening up their arms, right? Like opening up their arms like this. That's like, I'm free, 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 free falling, just free. There is no look to that. It's just the expression of my heart going out. The other thing I think about with freedom, when we worship, we're like, generally we put our hands up, and it looks like that symbol of freedom. But to me, sometimes worship is this posture of, I don't know.
Yeah. Like a shrugging,
I don't know.
Up,
yeah, like
shoulder
I don't
shrugged.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? But that's what sets me free. I don't know. You know. So I'm going to give it to you. I don't know what's going on in my body. I don't know. You know, I'm going to give it to you. And if there's something I need to know, you're going to let me know because you gave me a helper. So what it looks like to honor God with our body really is to open the door and let him in, which means be a really good host of the Spirit. Like you are housing God. To honor God is to be a good host to him. Your body is where he wants to be. It's where he chose. Isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah,
he didn't say, I'm going to give you the Spirit and he's going to visit you. And, once in a while, no, the Spirit came into them. This indwelling God is inside of me. So to honor God with my body is to be a good host of him with my body. So if you're going to host someone, wait, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking what came to my brain is the childhood messaging that we would get in the church. Your body is a temple. But with that came a lot of shame the other way. Like you better not X, Y, and Z. It became a morality statement. So for people who are all of a sudden triggered and hearing, you're housing the Holy Spirit, so you better do it right. And you better lose that weight. And you better, it's another
list of things to do. And I think I understand when your body's the temple. Temple feels like attention. Like I got to clean the temple. I got to, a church isn't usually, you don't want it dirty. Like there's a lot of things where I like to think it's my home. This is the home. This is where God chose to dwelling. We have magazines called Dwell about homes and architecture. Like it's a place you want to linger.
Like a hospitality, like a
hospitable towards the Lord.
Comfortable and loving and kind, not sterile and holy in a way that's not welcoming.
Right. If you knew God was coming over today, sure, you would probably pick up the house a little bit, right? Like everyone would be like, all right, let me pick up my stuff. But he knows it's there. But it's your heart being like, I want to make this ready for him. I want to prepare room for him. God, Jesus is coming. I'm going to prepare my room. But you wouldn't be doing it out of, oh my gosh, Jesus is coming.
He's going to judge me. He's going to judge.
If you carry shame, then you'll think that. But I would be like, he's coming. Oh my gosh, so excited. Like you would just get excited about he's coming. Let me make him a room. Let me prepare for him a place to stay. I hope he stays forever. I hope he never leaves me. I want to be a good host to him. So with that, we had to think about, what does he want? What does he want in my body? He wants peace, joy, comfort, compassion, kindness, a soft place to lay his head, and strong legs to say, let's go about in the day and let's go enjoy something, right? If I have a house guest, two things I'm supposed to do. I need to take care they have a place to lay their head, give them a food to eat, which is the word of God. If you want to feed him in your home, read the word. That feeds that spirit. It helps this healthy relationship as a friend and a host of this house guest. They're not even a house guest. They're moving in to live with you. then they want to go see the world. Oh, you got the Grand Canyon? Let's go to the Grand Canyon. Let's go see some things. Let's go talk to some people. Let's go out about the day. So it's this tender place to be with God and feel very vulnerable and soft. And we can talk about anything all the time. But then there is this also, okay, we're going to go do some things today. We're going to do some challenging things today. And God doesn't stand there testing us. He goes with us. Let's go do this together. That's how we honor God, is this reality, is that he's with us all the time. So when I think negatively about my body, when I'm shaming myself, or I think I'm old, blah, 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 first of all, it's just going to happen, everyone. In this world, you will have trouble. It's going to come. So don't judge yourself because there came, but be aware that it came. The minute you can be aware, the enemy he's losing ground. because with your awareness, then again, it's like you hit the guardrail. Okay, come back. Holy Spirit, where are you? You are joy. Wherever you are, there is freedom. Now, the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. And that just brings me back. So whatever I have to do to bring freedom back in, do I need to go for a walk and listen to worship music? Do I need to go sit in the sun and feel the wind in my face? For me, I know when I just feel like we don't need more information.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you can say a scripture, that's good, but go and we talked about that visceral, go do something that makes that real for you. So
yeah,
I go out in the world a lot. I look for him. I look for scripture to come alive, not just be stuck in my head. I want it to move into my heart. The whole point of renewing our mind, and which is what part of what we do at Revelation One is help people heal their brains from trauma, because exercise will help the neurogenesis, help restructure, re-architect the brain from any type of shame or trauma or body dysmorphia, eating disorders you've lived through, because those leave a mark on not just our souls, but our actual biology. But when we heal that, we got to get into the heart. It's got to get down into the heart. Otherwise, it's just more head knowledge.
More knowledge. Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I am loving the body I have. And so even recently, because I've had my style done by my friend and I'm leaning into the size that I am, I love how easy Stitch Fix makes it to go in there and find things that are my style and my size. The sizes are already plugged into my profile because I already took a quiz and I already told them what I loved. I found some jeans that are fantastic and fit my body and came within a week. And so I have also found boots there and shoes there and tops and sweaters and coats. So if you want to know the secret to loving what you're wearing, check out Stitch Fix. Now, you can also just take their quiz, tell them what you love, and a stylist will start to learn your tastes and collaborate with you on looks you love, and they'll send you items to try on at home, and you just send back what you don't love. But I also think their store option is fantastic, where they've narrowed in, they can see what I've already bought and tell me things that would look great with it, all the way down to the accessories, shoes. To me, it is the perfect blend of not obsessing, but also not neglecting how I show up, where I'm going, and whether it's speaking or on the sidelines of a basketball game. I'm so thankful for Stitch Fix. If you want to check it out, Stitch Fix is offering my listeners $20 off their first fix at stitchfix.com/DMA. That's stitchfix.com/DMA for $20 off today. Stitchfix.com/DMA. One place I have been frustrated with my body is with my skin, and it has been a problem as an adult with blemishes and breakouts, particularly at certain times of the month. And I've been really, really thankful that through sponsorship, I connected with GladSkin because their products are super gentle and effective. And they're for people of all ages, and whether you have eczema prone, acne prone, or rosacea prone skin, their Micro Balance, this revolutionary smart protein, it restores the balance of the good and the bad bacteria that live on your skin so it can finally heal. I have been months without breakouts, and it's so effective that 91% of users, adults and children who tried their eczema cream, reported significant improvement in just 7 days. So if you want to check it out, for adults, especially the Micro Balance GladSkin is steroid free. It doesn't have harsh ingredients, and it's clinically proven to reduce the eczema symptoms. It's also, they have a baby formula that is an oatmeal free formula, non-toxic, free of steroids and other irritants. Pediatricians and dermatologists, they love GladSkin for babies 3 months and up. So it's approved by the National Eczema Association. You can start your journey to stronger and healthier skin today with GladSkin. They're offering my listeners 15% off plus free shipping on your first order at gladskin.com/DMA. That's gladskin.com/DMA for 15% off plus free shipping. Gladskin.com/DMA. And thinking of that, like some of that conflict that comes, or the lacking of freedom, or you even said it, as we age, Or as you and I'm sure you have friends who've gone through cancer and different physical disease of some kind, and they feel like their body's failing them. Like when you said the body was good, they were like, ha, not for me.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, take care of it. And they're like, but it betrayed me, you know? And so what do we say to ourselves, or if we're believing that, or to someone who's feeling that, like betrayal with aging or with time, or even, you know, all the moms that are listening who, whether it was a miscarriage or whether it was even just dealing with a postpartum body, it just feels like, what? You made a person, but I'm not feeling it right now.
Yeah. Well, I do want to, first of all, say, if you're not feeling good, if your body feels like it's failing you, please do get checked out. Like, do find out, because we are in a fallen world. Unfortunately, our bodies do fall apart. There is, you know, postpartum depression. These chemicals and hormones, it's a delicate dance of life. And can we all just remember, this is always hard to, is that this is transient. Like, this is not it. We try so hard to hold on to it. We want what we want here. And I get it. And God knows it too. But man, I just know eternity is going to be like, oh my gosh, right? Like all the things we made this world about. But he has empathy for us because Jesus put on skin. He felt all the pain. He understands it. So there is an intercessor for us that understands. But that reality of you're not feeling well, get it checked out. Like, okay, what is it? Maybe it's your hormone levels are off. Maybe you do get some diagnosis that is absolutely destroys you, or feels like, oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, you have to sit with that. If there's anything you can do to partner to work against the disease or the sickness or whatever it is, then that's a choice. We choose, are we going to do that or not do that, right? But I always tell people, remember, a diagnosis is not a prognosis. Like a diagnosis that something is wrong, that's okay. Thank you for that reality check, doctor, or diagnose, whatever it is. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to take this to the good physician. God, what is true about this? What do you want me to do? But that takes a surrendered heart, right? That goes back to, there are choices that I probably can make. The body's good. Our choices are not good. Our choices are what we think, feel, and choose in a way that is not God-centered. So that's what twists us, mars our soul, and then our bodies pay the price. And eventually our body is going to die dust to dust, because Adam and Eve in the beginning did what they did. And so there's just this consequence for it, but we're redeemed at the same time. So if someone says my body feels like it's failing me, I would say, please do get it checked out. Once you know there's something there, because a lot of times people are afraid to find out. They're just like, my body's failing me. Well, maybe find out why.
Yeah.
If you can do that, if you have resource to a doctor. Often, even if you don't have resource to a doctor, ask the Holy Spirit. If you don't have resource to do it, ask. He'll bring things to mind, little things that you can do to help. Maybe you're not getting good sleep. Everything starts with good sleep. We talked about that, Heather. Get good sleep.
Just got a bed delivered while we're talking.
Yeah, girl. Sleep tonight. I'm gonna DM you tomorrow. How was your sleep?
Yes.
But no, it's true. Every good work, every rebuilding work starts with rest.
Yeah.
Rest.
Yeah. And that's what makes those new mom, like the young mom years, so challenging.
Oh, so challenging.
You're trying to do all the things and you literally are not sleeping.
Right.
Your brain can't have time to, aren't there proteins that build up in your brain, and it takes rest to like break those protein down? And that's why it's foggy. Like your brain gets all foggy. It's not fair.
No, you're telling you. I'm like, Lord. He's like,
it's been a minute since you and I lived through that, but
yeah, it's real.
Enough to remember that was hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got friends with little ones still. And I'm like, wow, I know. That's
because rest is so important. It shows.
Absolutely. It shows. And I get it. And so you do what you can to get the sleep you can. It's a season. They will eventually sleep. Thank God. My son is at college. He's sleeping well.
Maybe.
As opposed to his first 3 months of life. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your body isn't failing. Your body is trying to get you back. I mean, the fact again that you have a heartbeat, that you are able to take food in, put food out, whatever it is, like it is working for you. but thoughts that we have about our body, thoughts that we think. And I really believe this. If you think over and over how bad your body is or how much it's against you, it is against you.
Like you speak that into the truth, it becomes true.
Yeah. It's your truth. It becomes the reality of the lens you see everything. So we have to break up with the cursing of our bodies, break up with saying something's bad, but contending with, okay, there's something I feel bad. Like, what is it about me feeling bad? It's not about my body. It's like, I feel bad. So I make bad choices often. And then that just perpetuates that cycle of poverty.
You're talking about like listening to your body and that disconnect from your body and your brain, and how I've experienced that through various eating plans that I've been a part of.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us before we are done with our time about the diet culture versus intuitive eating. And I have a little question. Like I remember doing, it was some kind of veggie chewable that helped you get veggies and fruits, but they were saying that your cells remember what you ate. And so you'll crave what your body's used to eating. So like, talk to me about that and intuitive eating. Like if I'm used to eating Doritos and McDonald's, I'm going to want some McDonald's and some Doritos. And that may not be what's best for my good body.
Yeah.
But it's what intuitively I'm thinking I need.
Great. That's so good. Make sure I come back to the Doritos thing in case I don't. First of all, difference between dieting and intuitive eating. So we need to define that.
Yes.
Dieting is eating based on how you want to look. Intuitive eating is eating based on how you want to feel. They're very different.
Yeah.
So dieting, I want to change how my body looks. Intuitive eating is I want to trust how my body feels.
Yeah.
So one is to get in touch with your body. Now, again, you're absolutely right. Like, all right, my cravings of what I want is Doritos. Okay. What the intuitive eating world would say is you want to stop applying morality to food. Doritos bad, something good. And I agree with that because listen,
there's a lot of eating disorders.
Comes down to energy, right? Yeah. Food all comes down to energy. The reason God gave you food is so that you have energy. In the beginning, there were no Doritos. In the beginning, fruits, vegetables, here's some trees. These are going to work out. But of course, we got pretty creative as human beings do. And we've processed food and done different kind of things. And listen, a lot of food processing comes from a history of trying to get through winters. Canning food is an early form of processing food. And then our hearts just start to make money and all the things. So yes, it's real, but we can come back to the fact that the food is there to give you energy at the very end. If I'm hungry and I need something, a Dorito will help me. Like I'm going to get some energy, but too much of it, if that's all I have, then yes, I will have the cravings for it. What intuitive eating does is really not about the food. We kind of go, let's stop thinking so much about the food. Doritos are on the table. You can have Doritos, you can have whatever you want, but you have to pull back, do the harder work or the holier work of slowing down, assessing, am I really hungry or am I just craving? You got to start to know the difference of what this is, a want versus a need, or wanting versus liking. I talk about that in some programming that we've made because I can want stuff, but I don't necessarily like the way I feel afterward if I eat too much of it. So in the intuitive eating world, they'd be like, you can have Doritos, but if you'll eat them intentionally and intuitively, you won't eat the whole bag of them. You'll just have enough and because you're in your right mind thinking about I'm eating because how I want to feel, you won't eat them to the point that you feel disconnected from your body. Diets help you disconnect from your body. But intuitive eating does constantly says, you got to come back to your body. What's going on? Are you really hungry? Are you in a bad mood? Are you like, it's
am I
so
bored? Am I feeling stressed? Like if you've done the work to realize, okay, what are my patterns?
Yes. And you can kind of just pay attention to that and find out where your weak points are and how then the Holy Spirit can come and help you. We have a program right now. Can I say this?
Please.
Program?
Please. Yeah. And then I'm going to let you go. I promise. Because I know you have a day.
I need a shower to look as good as you.
Wow.
We have a program right now called Food is Not the Boss of Me. Food is not the boss of me. And that's exactly what this is about, teaching people how to trust their own body again, to trust their fullness and hunger cues, to trust, like just come back to what's going on inside of you. And then we can approach food and consider what it is to eat, because most when they begin to get intuitive and just pay attention to what they're eating. First of all, you got to get rid of all or nothing, because that's what diets do. Diets give you a plan and you follow it, and you get the results you want. Intuitive eating is kind of, it floats a bit. You're not going to nail it. You're kind of in and you're out, and you're in and you're out, and that's how you know you're
Are
doing
you
it right,
more responsive to your blood sugar levels dropping because you're paying attention to like,
yep,
my blood sugar is dropping and I need to get my energy?
Yes. You will have more, your eating patterns might change a little bit, because you might be realizing, oh, I was eating before because I was just bored. I just did that at that time of day. But you also might find like, oh, I'm really didn't know I'm hungry now. I usually just sit through this. So Food is Not the Boss of Me helps take those practical things about learning to trust your body and hunger and fullness cues, which I just believe God made you that way. Let's see if we can get that back. And then, because it's Revelation Wellness, and there's more. The Holy Spirit, like, we're bringing God's word into it. We're bringing the truth. We're redeeming and healing those wounds of our hearts and minds that keep us living disconnected and chasing another diet over and over. And just like I said, the gig is up. It's fallow ground, and the enemy knows we're coming with living water. He's going to lose ground. We just got to pull out the living water, get in our sober minds, break up with diet culture, break up with the fact that we think our body should look some way. Name of Jesus. But our bodies, I think we have a hope to feel a certain way.
Yeah. I think that's key for me. Like, I've even noticed, yes, although I'm not maybe the size that I've ever been in my life, I started doing a Pilates program, which feels good to me because I did ballet in middle school, and like, I can feel more connected from my ankles to the top of my head. Beautiful. Because it's like a full experience. And it is confusing when I stand on the scale and I see a number, but I'm like, but I feel good. So this is a confusing concept. So you've helped me just be free of what has shackled me. Maybe I need to get my sledgehammer and smash the
you do, girl.
scale like you.
You got to go to my, did you see it on my Instagram? No, I
now
really
that I'm following you, now that the Instagram lets me. Whatever.
Instagram betrayed us. I do think, because we're coming out of such diet culture, like, we're all in this together, ladies. We're all in it together, where I think there will be the weight comes on, like, and we're going to reset. Like, what is my body supposed to be given the season I'm in? We got to let ourselves go and have that ability to explore that. Then, as we stay in our bodies, who knows what will come? Like, I don't know, maybe you'll come down some pounds.
What's coming for me is menopause.
Oh yeah. That's a fun ride. Have me back on the show for that one.
Yeah. I got the goods
on that one.
Talking about hormones and all the things that you can't, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot out of the control that is just part of the process, and not being angry with my body that it's going through this next season.
It's a waste of energy, guys. Life is about so much more. Your body shows the beauty of the kingdom of God. Just do whatever it is to continue to make that happen inside.
Well, I appreciate you. I think you're amazing.
I love you.
Well, we can talk so many more times. I'm not going to let 6 years go by.
I was going to say, 6 years, I'll be 57.
I'm just saying.
You better, I don't know.
There was a slight pandemic in there, which messes up my time continue. I don't know what time it is, but
continue.
Yes. But thank you for joining me and being so gracious and kind and
I love you.
Ministering to me. So
it's fantastic. You're beautiful.
So thankful
and wonderful
to know you.
Love you.
All right.
Me too.
Thanks, y'all, for joining me today. I hope this did minister to you. I mean, truth. When truth comes at you, God has a way of using it. It resonates with the Spirit in you. And if you are looking for more help, please connect with Alisa and her team over at Revelation Wellness. They have so many great things available. She has been doing this for a long, long time, and I'm super thankful for her faithfulness in that. I'm going to pray over us because I know this is a place where spiritual warfare is happening. Lord, I thank you for my own freedom. I thank you that you are so willing to come in and disrupt the lies that we're believing, but it requires us to bring them to you. And I pray that any wounding that has happened in someone's past, whether it was someone's words, whether it was labels, whether it was a parent wanting to help but causing more harm than good, that we're not blaming the parents, we're not shaming the parents, but that we are bringing the beliefs that started back then, beliefs that our value and worth came from an outward appearance and not from an inner worth, that there was something wrapped up in a protection or a need for control or whatever it was, Lord, that we know the thing is not the thing most often. And I pray that you would bring to mind right now, whatever that is for the person who's listening, and that they can present that to you, Lord, and just say, Lord, forgive me. I've been believing this is true about how I care for my body or how I don't care for my body. Will you forgive me? And we know that your abundant forgiveness pours out, and you are always willing to align our hearts with the truth of what you say about us and what you believe about us and your infinite love for us. We thank you, God, for giving us bodies, that we can be your hands and feet to minister wherever we go, that we get to take your love and joy and peace and comfort to so many hurting people around us. And I pray that the enemy will no longer have a foothold when it comes to our bodies, that the shame would no longer keep us hidden from the great plans you have for us, that we can move forward in freedom just as we are. And I thank you for doing that in my own heart and mind and allowing me to partner with you in the things that you're doing in my own life. And Lord, I'm just full of gratitude to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, getting a little carried away there. Oh, y'all, thank you for trusting me, listening, sharing with your friends, leaving reviews, all the things you do to support the show that I may not get to directly thank you for, but I really do know that in 9 years of creating the show, there's been no master marketing plan. Y'all are it. And so thank you for trusting me and walking with me. And so next week, I'll be back with a guest I've wanted to have on since I started the show. I've known her a very long time, and she is a dear, dear follower of Christ. Ann Voskamp is going to be on the show next week, and I'm thrilled to share her with you. If you guys want, I have really exciting news that if you don't listen to the show right when it comes out, you're going to miss this announcement. This is why you sign up for the emails from me. I'm going to be part of a live event here in Dallas. It's happening February 16th, and I'm going to put the details about it in my email that's going out this week and probably in the next week's email. So if you're not getting them, you can always sign up. Go to olaheather.com. I would love for you to be there if you're in the area. And it's just a part of what I can't wait to tell y'all what God is doing. He is putting things together, and I am just in awe of him. So I hope that you can see his grace in your own life today, and I will meet you back here next week. Adios.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Don't Mom Alone podcast. If you're wanting to connect with more people and more resources to help remind you that you're not alone, head over to don'tmomalone.com. That's where you'll also find show notes with any links mentioned by our guests. Most importantly, I want you to know the good news, the great news that you're not alone because God has promised to always be with you. With faith in Jesus Christ, the one who died for you and rose again, Jesus said when he left, he was going to leave a helper, a comforter, to be with us. God in us. Moms, that's superpower. So while you're washing dishes at your kitchen sink, while you're driving to and from work, while you're feeding that baby late into the night, while you're cleaning sticky floors, God promises to be just as present with you as when you're worshiping in a church pew. As it says in Zephaniah 3:17, the Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He takes great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love, and he will rejoice over you with singing. Now that's good news. Have a great day.